anybody's business. This is the Boomerang. 23 million motors on the boulevards and highways of America. All of them going someplace in a hurry. All of them tuned to the fast tempo of American life. And to keep this current of traffic going steadily and smoothly, calls for a standing army far greater than that of national defense. An army trained and equipped to lead you on your way in safety. Them here, they save thousands of lives every day, carrying on a night often misunderstood service. Of course, there are still motoring accidents, all too many of them. In fact, last year, accidents cost American motorists more than $2 billion. Here's one. Fortunately, it wasn't you this time. Still, you can't laugh it off. It's none of your business. It's everybody's business. Accidents don't happen. Behind everyone, there is a very definite reason. And by following simple common sense rules of the road, these costly, often tragic mishaps can be avoided. First, keep your car fit to drive. Second, drive with courtesy. Let's reenact the accident as just occurred and find the reason. There he goes, obeying the speed, driving at a conservative pace. He thinks his brakes are all right, and perhaps they are for ordinary use. Of course, he isn't expecting an emergency, but here is an emergency. He stands on the brake. A serious accident that could have been prevented if his car had been fit to drive. Faulty braking is the true public enemy number one of safe motoring. You motorists realize the tremendous momentum of a motor car in motion. For instance, at 60 miles an hour, the average car actually has greater impact power than a 6-inch projectile. Or to put it another way, at a mile a minute speed, your car has the momentum equal to driving off a 10-story building. Strict photography, of course, but it's no exaggeration of the job your brakes have to perform. Stop your car at 60 miles an hour. How are the brakes on your own car? You stop as quickly and as smoothly as this limit. Notice that although the driver had both hands off the steering wheel, there was no skidding. According to police safety standards, at 20 miles an hour, your car should be able to stop within 36 feet. The new Plymouth stops in half that distance. Put your own car to that test. See how well it measures up with modern safety standards. For safe, certain stopping, brakes must work equally and evenly. This testing machine plays no favorites. In a minute, it tells you whether your brakes are trustworthy. Don't take a chance. Be sure your brakes are right. And when you buy a new car, be sure it has self-equalizing hydraulic brakes. Out on the boulevard and the open road, little acts of carelessness frequently are responsible for major consequences. Hey! That's so. And it might have been close. Just suppose our Plymouth hadn't had the world's safest brakes. Here's what might have happened. Of course, the driver of the leading car should have signaled. On the other hand, the other driver disregarded one of the primary rules of safe motoring. He was following closer than his assured stopping distance. And speaking of hand signals, here's the set which are clearly understandable to any motor. This clearly indicates a left turn. Here is a signal for a right turn. Attention following traffic. He's going to stop. Now let's leave the boulevard for a moment for a little lesson in courtesy. On foot, this chap is the very soul of courtesy and chivalry. He has all the marks of breeding which distinguish a gentleman from a hoot. But when he gets behind the wheel of an automobile, he suddenly becomes a 100-horsepower bully. A man who would never consider blocking the theater aisle thinks nothing of roving along at a snail's pace out in the lane of fast traffic. A nuisance, of course, but more important, a genuine menace to safety. Anyone who wants to pass does so at his own risk, and everyone else's risk. In this enlightened day and age, Can you imagine gentlemen passing tooth and nail to decide which will be the first into an elevator? But how often have you observed drivers muddle sentences or words in some utterly childish attempt to beat out a fellow person? On the football field, this probably would be classified as high-grade broken field running. But on the boulevard is the big group cut. Follow the cut-in driver home. 9 cases out of 10, you will find he's hurrying to nothing more important than last week's funny paper, and that at the risk of suspenders and perhaps his neck. Our snake driver is thrown for a loss by the traffic squad. Let's hope to keep him on the sidelines for the rest of the season. Traffic lights are intended for traffic control, but there's always someone who tries to beat them. At best, it gives him only a few feet advantage in the head start, and sometimes... Was it worth it? Of course. But it cost American motorists thousands of fenders and more last year to prove it for themselves. You can win only a few seconds, and you can lose a couple of months in some hospital. Anyone is a sucker to gamble against a gun. How much do you actually save by taking a chance? Amazing. In a recent test conducted by police in metropolitan cities, 2 new Plymouth cars staged the most unusual race across town. Both were driven by expert drivers. But what a difference in the driving! One car was driven at a pace bordering on reckless. If the run had not been under police supervision, it is quite probable the driver would have landed in jail. In fact, had he not been an expert driver, he might have landed in the emergency force. The other car, driven over the same route, held a conservative pace. Its driver didn't blow, but he obeyed every law of the road and of motoring courtesy. Yet, when the 12-mile run was completed, it was found that the driver who had cheated the traffic code had won by a margin of only 3 minutes. Think of it, 15 seconds saved per mile. And think also how dearly he might have paid for those seconds. Motoring must be made safe. The police of the nation are doing their part, smoothing the poor traffic, weeding out the unfit and the reckless drivers who would turn the... positive and safe. Plymouth performance is sure footed. A new sway eliminator prevents dangerous sidewalks. And for lasting protection, Plymouth provides an all-steel body of remarkable strength. Steel reinforced with steel, held it forever into a mighty bulwark of unyielding safety. 1935 Plymouth is unquestionable, finest hope-life car ever built, more spirited in performance, more thrilling to drive, and more comfortable to ride. Above all, it is the safest hope-life car in motor car history. But the rest is up to you. After all, the safest motor car can be no safer than the driver at the wheel. The best rule of the road is, don't gamble. Stay safe. Drive a Plymouth and drive it with consideration.
This